When the mighty Roman Empire split into East and West, many believed the golden age of civilization had ended. But in the East, a new power rose, the Byzantine Empire. For more than 7 centuries, it not only survived, but built the most stable currency in medieval history, the solidus, a gold coin that held its value for over 700 years, a record no other economy has ever matched. How could one empire sustain such financial stability while the rest of Europe fell into chaos? What gave its money such enduring strength? And in the end, why did that seemingly perfect system collapse? After Rome fell in the West, Europe descended into division, war, and feudalism. But in the East, the capital, Constantinople, the heart of Byzantium, maintained order through a financial system like no other. The emperor controlled everything: taxation, minting, and the flow of gold itself. The solidus, issued by Emperor Constantine the Great in the 4th century, became the foundation of Byzantine power. Each coin contained about 4.5 grams of nearly pure gold and kept its standard for centuries. Stamped with the emperor's image, it symbolized the bond between authority and trust, a promise written in gold. At the center of this system stood the Imperial Mint of Constantinople, the only institution allowed to issue coins. Every batch of gold was tested, every die replaced to prevent forgery. This tight control allowed Byzantium to do what no other medieval empire could: maintain a stable currency across 3 continents. The Byzantine economy followed one simple rule: gold in, gold out, and gold back to the treasury. Taxes were paid in gold, never in goods or credit. No one could spend more than what the empire actually possessed. The empire's fiscal foundation rested on 3 pillars: land taxes, trade taxes, and military taxes. Land brought stability. Trade brought wealth from ships passing through Constantinople, the crossroads of the world. And the military tax funded a professional army, freeing the empire from dependence on feudal lords. At the heart of it all was the sakelion, the empire's supreme financial office. Every coin was recorded, every expense accounted for. It was a system centuries ahead of its time, an early form of what we would now call a central bank. Because of this discipline, the solidus became the most trusted currency on earth. Merchants from Egypt to England, from Baghdad to Venice, accepted it without question. It was the true gold standard of the Middle Ages, a symbol of stability in an uncertain world. But the Byzantines understood that money was more than economics. It was a weapon of diplomacy and power. Gold could buy peace, loyalty, and time itself. Emperors used it to build alliances, to wage wars, and sometimes to bribe their enemies before they attacked. Without drawing a sword, Constantinople ruled the world through the quiet power of its gold. Money became its softest yet sharpest weapon. But as with every empire, prosperity carried the seed of decay. By the 11th century, endless wars against Arabs, Normans, and Crusaders drained the treasury. To keep spending, the emperors made a fatal choice. They reduced the gold content of the solidus. At first, it seemed harmless. But when gold lost its purity, trust began to crack. Merchants noticed. By the end of the 11th century, the solidus had lost nearly a quarter of its gold. Trade slowed, taxes dwindled, and powerful cities like Venice and Genoa began minting their own coins, replacing Byzantine's once unshakable dominance. The empire tried to recover with a new coin, the hyperperon, but it was too late. The trust that had sustained its empire had vanished. When money lost its worth, so did its power. 2 centuries later, in 1453, the inevitable happened. The Ottoman Empire surrounded Constantinople. After 53 days of siege, the great city fell. The last emperor, Constantine XI, died fighting, and with him, 1,000 years of empire ended. The fall of Constantinople was not just a military defeat. It was the death of the ancient world's greatest financial system. An economy built not on violence, but on order, discipline,
and trust vanished into the ashes of history. The final echo of the solidus faded away. But history never truly ends. It only changes its shape.